Hello there, this is Rainfi from Milesight. So today I will be the speaker for today to talk about something related to the human comfort and efficiency in the workplace, especially in buildings. And today we have also invited the technical support from our site. So if you do have any questions, and please leave your message in the chat box or Q&A box so we can get reach to you and discuss with you during this webinar or in the Q&A session in the end of this webinar later. So please let us know your questions and concerns. And I'm going to give the presentation firstly. So if you wanted to ask any further questions, we can talk later. Okay? So can everybody hear me well and can see my slides? Okay. All right, let's get started. So the first part would be the content sessions. So today we'll be having 4 sessions. So the first one will be something related to some simple like a introduction of Milesight, while we wanted to talk about like there will be something happening in the current office environment and how to make a comfort office environment, and most importantly to introduce how can we bring the IoT devices into the workplace and into your building to do the transformation and the combination with your current existing systems. And second part, we will be bringing the solutions of Milesight, introducing those products which we have focuses on like feelings of your like human comfort, as well as how to boost the efficiency to improve the overall productivity. And the third part will be some success stories coming from our partners, and we wanted to do a quick and brief analysis of how can we use those products into those different solutions. Well, how can we really do that? So that will be something related to everything we're going to talk. And the last part will be the last part to talk about the big events happening in recent times. Okay, so if you do have any questions, please let us know in the Q&A box and chat box. All right, so now let's begin from the first part, introduction part. So while there might be somebody of you who didn't know Milesight before, so just wanted to quick and do a brief introduction of ourselves. So Milesight, we are as a digital sensing products provider. So we have been having and applies emerging technologies such as AI, 5G, and IoT to distinct use scenarios. And LoRaWAN is one of our distinct technology we're using, and we're providing a lot of different LoRaWAN cases, solutions, and products. So if you wanted to know further about how to build your own LoRaWAN project, please let us know. And also, besides the LoRaWAN technology, we also focus on like different technologies. We are finding there should be some technologies, especially for different applications. So that will be the most important thing. All right. So now let's see what we will be talking about for today, just to give you some of the background information. So there will be some data and some of the story I wanted to share. So that is about the challenges in today's office environment. So from like in the recent years, you might find that it's kind of a big issue while we wanted to solve the problems happened in the office environment. For example, the noise and distractions. So high level of the noise will be kind of distracting and stressful, reducing the overall productivity and increasing discomfort. And then we find that poor indoor air quality might be the other issue. So from the 2022 report from WHO that says the poor indoor air quality can lead to like most of the respiratory issues and decreased cognitive functions, impacting the employees' well-being and productivity. And also the poor temperature control, like we might find the traditional thermostat sometimes might not be able to help you to change or do the control of the temperature very well. And sometimes it's lack of schedules. So you might want to have some smart logic of your thermostats to help you to build a more economic as well as a more comfortable environment. The improper lighting is another issue in the current scenes. So, for example, we find the report from the interior designer that they indicated that 70% of employees reported dissatisfaction with their office lighting, which can lead to eye strain and head attacks at the same time. And underutilized office space will be another big issue in recent years because we know from the seasons from the last few years, we find more and more people are work from home. So this time there might be something happen to the office buildings and space. They might be waste a lot of space because they do not have to use that much of spaces because they may not have fixed stations of their workers. So in that time, we find the report says that the office space utilization rates have dropped to around 50% in recent years. So those of the spaces which has been wasted might cost a lot. So maybe this is a good time for those owners to find there should be some way to collect the data and redistribute this space to make them more functional. And outdated devices will be some traditional devices we're currently use. So those devices, they can do the like automatic control. So they can do the easy control, but they cannot be able to do the automatic control like the smart IoT devices can do. Smart IoT devices can also be able to collect your data instead of only being able to do the controlling stuff, such as to control and to know the power consumption of your appliances and to give you some remote on and off and the wireless control and the management capabilities. So that will be the differences of the outdated devices and new IoT devices. So there will be something I did a conclusion about how to make an office more comfortable. So there are two dimensions for this question. So the first one will be how to build a more comfortable place to provide a quiet place with fresh indoor air. If there will be some abnormal happens, it should be have warned someone to do the cleaning or to do the setup again. And also the adequate lighting depends on the brightness and depends on the weather and of the environment in your office building. And the second most important thing will be to improve the overall efficiency. For example, you can quickly find the room availability in your office building to find the meeting room. And also you have multifunctional devices. You do not have to go to somewhere to get that off or on. You just have to do the remote control just on your like software or something. And also you might want to find something easier, such as in the building, it takes time to find an empty parking space. So you might want to have some enough and efficient parking guidance as well. Overall, it can bring all of the comfort as well as to bring the efficiency to save your energy consumptions. So that will be something to being able to make offices more comfortable. So in this office with IoT devices, I will say, firstly, you might want to say, oh, there might have existing systems, like you have already have some of the appliances controlling your indoor environment, but it's not a like kind of a conflict because we said IoT devices might be some extra points and will be able to do the transformation of your existing system. So just let me to introduce the LoRaWAN stuff a little bit. So in the LoRaWAN system, we have different parts. First part, you might want to have the sensors to collect your data. Second part, you have a LoRaWAN gateway to receive the data collected by those sensors. And then the embedded network servers or network server itself could be able to do the analysis of the data. And finally, those data will be displayed or will be come out from your application platform. So that is a steps, different 4 steps from the different things. Okay, so let me introduce while I saw the question related to BACNAT. So I'm going to introduce this again. So because I just did demonstrate the process of different 4 steps of the LoRaWAN. And now what we wanted to do is to give some extra point for your buildings. So that's why we have the compatibility with some of the BMS system protocols. For example, the BACnet. So Milesight, we got LoRaWAN gateways enabling having the compatibility with BACnet protocol transformation. So that means we can do the transformation of BACnet signal and the LoRaWAN signal. That means our LoRaWAN devices can be able to add into your existing BMS system while you wanted to control them or you wanted to set different demands with the BACnet protocols and the BACnet signals to that. So that will be able to help you not bother your existing system, but just to add something else to help you to build your building well and to do the data collection while you wanted to do the control as well. So that will be the thing achieved by the LoRaWAN gateway Milesight provided to you. And also we are thinking about to add more and making more protocol come true. So that's what we are under development. So we are providing some middleware platform, enabling you to do some secondary development of Milesight's devices, which means you can be able to do the combination with Milesight's devices with your platform or your LoRaWAN devices with Milesight's platform. That's what we are going to have. Okay, I saw some questions here. So there is a question says, for example, related to energy saving, especially in the mall that needed to adjust the air conditioner with 2 condition, crowd and outside building temperature. What is the solution that we can offer? So for the air conditioner to condition crowd and outside building temperature, do you mean the crowd is about the noise happening with your air conditioner or something like that? And outside building temperature, that will be able to do that with the temperature sensors. So today, mostly of the products we are offering today and talk about today will be something related to the indoor air quality. But actually for the building the temperature outside, we are also offering outdoor temperature monitoring sensor. Okay, I saw that the counting of people inside. Yes, so for this kind of solutions, you wanted to combine those 2 conditions. Actually, we will be recommending you to do the people counting sensors in the indoor places. Although we will not be talking about that much, I can send you more of the materials of the people counting series of products we are offering because we had already got a webinar of the people counting series last month. So we won't be talking about that too much, but I will be giving you the resource which can help you with that. And based on your energy saving part, so like we said, how can we achieve the overall like energy efficiency or savings? So for example, while you're staying in the indoor areas, so you might find that the people counting sensor is important. It's not only just provide you the number of people, but also you can combine the data with like people number, like the crowdedness of people, while combining with your ventilation system. So that means you can trigger your ventilation system to work smartly based on the number of people who are in the indoor spaces. So that one will be helpful while you wanted to adjust the temperature in the indoor or adjust the fans of the indoor, because more people might be might be having more carbon dioxide. So that will be able to, that should be having a higher level of the ventilation system to work and fun on. So while there are more people in the inside space, such as in the shopping malls. So that will be the logic in all of those, I will say the LoRaWAN or IoT solutions will bring to you. That's why we said it will be more and intelligent while comparing with the traditional systems. Okay, so there will be some smaller systems and kind of the extra talks about how to achieve the overall efficiency and energy consumptions in the indoor space. Today's webinar, we will be talking about the two different dimensions of sensors. However, that's not all about mouse-sized devices. As I mentioned, every month we will be having different topics talking about mouse-sized devices, since we have been offering different solutions. So if you're wondering, like, do you have some extra solutions, extra products related to what kind of applications, you can leave your message here so we can talk further later. So for today, we will be talking about, first, those sensors will be able to improve their feelings, and secondly, boost your efficiency. So let's see those products firstly. So first of all, like I mentioned in the building, there might be some important things we're worrying and thinking about. First of all, it's about like human comfort. So this human comfort will be kind of very directly to illustrate how can we improve. For example, the IAQ, the Indoor Air Quality Series. Like you can see here, we are offering different shapes of those products. However, actually, you can see the smaller one and the bigger one with screen or without screen. So that kind of things is like we are offering different, like I will say, you have different focuses. For example, you just want some basic air quality detection. You might find it's enough to have the fundamental AM100 series, which covers like 3 different parameters. Temperature, humidity, and the carbon dioxide will be enough. For most of the like schools, meeting rooms, those parameters are enough. And also sometimes you wanted to have some further things. For example, you wanted to have not only temperature, humidity, but some extra air quality detection parameters. For example, like the barometric pressure, you wanted to know the TDOC, you wanted to have the PIR to detect somebody is there or not, to see the crowdedness, and also you wanted to have something else like the other parameters of the outdoor detection, something like that. We'll be recommending you the professional AM300 series. And the WT series, we have been talked a lot. For the WT series, that represents the thermostats. And you see the different shapes here because we are offering different kinds of like different shapes and different kinds of products applying to different HVAC system. Like the first one, this one is able to connect directly to the radiators. But this is for some of the places like in European countries, there might be some like radiators in the residential rooms or something, residential buildings. And the second will be someone which can be able to cover most of the HVAC system, the heat pumps, the RTU, or like something like that. And the third one is for the fan coil unit systems. And so that will be some different kind of thermostats. In general, the common features of those thermostats will be they are able to do the different like schedules, could be able to cover like for different energy saving modes. Like you wanted to have the comfortable mode or economic mode, or you wanted to set some smart schedules during the winter or summertime. So that will be the differences for the smart, like the weather like thermostats. The co-work series, actually, we are having so many products here. But while we were thinking about like humans' comfort, we'll be offering, for example, the noise level detector and the PIR and light sensors, checking with both of the brightness and also to check the crowdedness of people indoor. And the light smart light controller will be able to support up to 8 different like circuits control, and you will be able to use like some extra settings like some remote and wireless settings with like different kinds of your commands, like you can set some if then conditions while you're using it in the LoRaWAN system. That can be achieved by your LoRaWAN like the gateways while you're using mouse devices, or you have the set third parties platform. They can all be achieved. And the gas series, we have that for specifically currently this one, the GS301, it's for the outdoor detection in the restroom. So that will be more likely to support like to checking the most frequently happened outdoor in the restroom. Okay, so let's see if you have any interest with any of those products. Please let me know and drop your questions in the Q&A box. So while our technical support will still and also be there to talk about and answer your question. Okay. All right, so now let's check all of those products one by one. And if you have any questions, please let me know. And I'm going to introduce some of the basic features of them. Well, if you wanted to know some further things, you can always drop your questions in the Q&A box. Okay, so like I mentioned in the beginning, we have the AM series, the air quality series, specifically for doing some environmental parameter detection. For example, we have the AM100 series, which represents the basic like fundamental requirement of the parameter detection. AM300 series, the multifunctional series, will be able to cover more environmental parameters. And some of the things you might notice that first we have screen version or non-screen version. And for the screen version, it's more likely if you wanted to always show and see the parameters showing on the display. So you might want to check that a little bit sometimes. So that might be requiring for the screen version. And non-screen version will be the one which is kind of like for your supporting of collecting all of your data while you wanted to use this data later for some database decision and to do some extra settings with those data. And the good news for that is because they're in many countries, they're applying for like different certification for buildings, like for green buildings or something like that. So there might be having some certificates, which is called WELL. So AM319 from outside, which is currently available, works with WELL. So if you're working and you wanted to apply for a higher or like certificate with WELL building, you can adopt and to find some of those devices which can be work with WELL. So this will be a good option benefiting for your WELL building. Okay. And the smart thermostat solution, which we have been talked a lot. So like I mentioned, different thermostats, they are able in covering different HVAC systems. So in this kind of systems, like in different rooms, you might find there are lots of those panels. So the most important thing with the thermostat solution is they're able to support you to do some schedule, smart settings, while you wanted to do the remotely control and something like that. They can be doing the analysis of your environment while you wanted to set like different schedules by yourself, while you wanted to do the energy reset, like energy efficiency and energy consumption decreasement settings. That will be available and appropriate for that cases. And like I mentioned, they're able to support different HVAC systems. So if you are interested in any of them, please let us know. And these devices can also be added into your full LoRaWAN solutions. While you can have your LoRaWAN devices building in the same space and to help them to do the combination connection to trigger each other to do something. Like I mentioned in the beginning, somebody asked me that, oh, if we will be able to use the data of the like people crowdedness and then to trigger something related to temperature. That will be a good choice. While it detects in this space, there are many people and the many people having got the threshold you're setting. And so, for example, the temperature is getting high because more people is here. And so that will make your thermostat to do the like setting and adjustment of the temperature a little bit. And also it will be triggering, like, for example, while there are many people here, while the AM series air quality feels the carbon dioxide level is too high, that will be able to trigger your ventilation system to work. So that will be the similar things while you have the full LoRaWAN solution, which can be able to support you to do the combination of different devices. These are some of the products I mentioned for improving your human comfort, like the sound level sensor, which will be able to check the noise level. So there will be some cases they have the noise level sensors building in schools. So they wanted to know the crowdedness level or like noise level in different places, especially for some places like canteens or the school's corridors, something like that, to detect and collect the data for secondary development and use. And the bathroom outdoor detector, this is just one of the example we have for the restrooms. In the restroom and the smart restroom, this is not the only thing we should do to control or check with those outdoor level. But the most another important things will be, for example, to manage the resource or the manage your labor resource into such as the cleaning stuff to do the cleaning in the restroom and the frequency and something like that. So we are also offering the like a full solutions for your restroom to improve all of the like air quality to help you to like send your command to some of the devices to work, like your ventilation system, while you can also to help you to manage your cleaning staffs in the restrooms. The PIR and light sensor I mentioned, first, it's got the PIR sensor. That means it can trigger and it can detect the motion of people. So it will be, for example, while we deploy WS202 in the meeting room, it will be able to check if there will be somebody occupying this meeting room. And then it can be able to help you to check with the light level, for example, the brightness level, and then it can be triggering the turning on or off of your lights or the electricity of some appliances in the indoor space. That will be how it can work well with building a more comfortable and higher efficiency office. The smart light controller, like I just introduced, you can just combine those two devices together. So while it detects nobody's in there, it can be able to trigger the smart light controller to do the, like for example, turning off the lights of the meeting room, while it can be able to trigger by its logic, which you customize by yourselves. So that will be very easy for you to do the combination and setting of solutions. So if you wanted to know like more details with those products, please let me know, because what I wanted to help you and to let you know is about maybe some examples of how to use those products. Okay, any questions so far with the previous sensors and products we are mentioning? Our technical support, Charles, is also here for giving you some more feedback and solve your questions. Okay, I didn't see any questions by now, so I will continue my presentation. And if you have any questions later, our support will always be here, and we can also discuss with your project cases and solutions together. Okay? So besides talking about the overall feeling of comfortable while, for example, your smells well, you hear like the noise level or a sound level measurement or outdoor detection, something like that. So now what I wanted to talk further is about the more effective, flexible, and low cost management of the electricity systems while you wanted to do the control to improve the overall efficiency in the office buildings. So let's see. So here you can see many co-work series, but you can see there might be something very familiar because that is exactly what we are using by now for your like building offices, something like that. Those switches or the portable sockets or wall sockets and some of the buttons here. And also there will be something else. So you might find what's the differences with those products and the traditional devices in general and very briefly talking. So it's kind of like, well, your traditional devices can only achieve something related to control, which means you have to do the control only by yourself and to touch and to trigger that or something. But what the smart devices can do is not only just control, but how to manage something very easily with some smart logic, like I mentioned. It will be triggered by, for example, while you have a PIR and light sensor indoor, but there's nobody indoor it detects. There's no one in the meeting room. It can trigger the switch to turn off. So it will be able to support those kind of very smart logics and combination. And the second most important thing is it can be able to collect your data. For example, the portable socket, you will be able to collect you the current, the power factor, the power consumption, something like that. So you will be able to know, for example, you combine the portable socket with your refrigerators in your office building. You might find, oh, how many power had it consumed in the last month with the refrigerators you wanted to detect, because that costs a lot. So that will be a kind of thing for you to manage some of your appliances. You wanted to do the management and to help you to collect not the data as well as to help you to do the control. So that will be the basic difference with all of those co-work series while you wanted to use those IoT devices to do that. And so now I'm going to introduce those products one by one. And if you have any questions or doubts of how to use them, please let me know. First one, what I wanted to talk about are some of the wireless devices, which you can just put it on your space, like just like the button, you can just put it on your table, and the sync panel you can paste on the wall or paste on the table. So what can they do? Actually, we had already been able to do some settings. For example, in my meeting room, we use this to control the curtain. So while I'm doing the long touch, you will be able to have the curtain on or off, and also to set it in the different logics. So that will be the thing what we can do with the button. And also, while you think about the smart button, it's a wireless one. What you can do else, for example, in a hospital, you might want to those patients which wanted to call for assistance from a nurse. They can use the smart button to do the quick call. It will be react in just a second. So that will be very quickly for you to do the setting. And the one-to-many control with the WS1X6, you see there is a sync panel which got 6 buttons on that. Actually, you can do different settings. For example, you can use the numbers. So some of the cases, they're using the numbers for doing the ratings of some of the service in their space. And also you can use some small signage here. Did you see that? There are some small signage, so which will be able to cover, for example, somebody's in the room, for example, the appliances, the TV, the lights, the curtain, the AC, something related to that. That will be able to help you to do the wireless management and control of different appliances in your space. So those will be something related to the wireless controlling buttons. And there we have a sign here, which is for D2D. What does it mean? Actually, it means device to device. So Milesight, we have our proprietary Milesight D2D protocol to allow Milesight's LoRaWAN devices to work directly with other like Milesight D2D devices. Just do a very quick and easy example. So while you're for example, the WS558, we talked about the smart light controller. So that one is a D2D agent, which means it accepts some commands. And then you can find there are some D2D controller, like those buttons we see in this page. So while you do the touch, so it will be send the command directly to the agent device, while you can trigger the agent device to do, for example, the lighting, so to turn off the light or turn on the light or something related to that. That help you to do the integrated management of your appliances, of your space. So that will be a very quick example. And at the same time, you can also trigger it by LoRaWAN devices or command. So they will be able to support both the D2D command and also the LoRaWAN command. So that will be having the different settings while you wanted to use. But what I wanted to say is D2D one will be quicker than that one. So because it doesn't require you to go the data to get through those process into the gateway and go back. Though you just have to let the device to talk to the device directly. So that will just be take like about like 1 second for you to control something. So if you still have questions about this part or this features, please let me know, okay? And for the smart wall switches, like I mentioned, we're offering different smart wall switches. They can not only be able to do the control, but also it can help you collect your data. For example, the current, voltage, power factor, power consumption. So that one will be able to help you to know like the electricity consumption with the specific room or building and help you to manage those consumptions well. Okay, can everybody see my slides well right now? All right, if you have any questions, please let me know. Is that okay for now? Can everybody see my slides well? Okay, thank you. All right, so let's get back to the material here. So that's about the wall switches. I'm just mentioning we are offering different types of the light control switches. And the most important thing is it can be able to not only to control, but also to have some collect of your data, very important data, like for your electricity. And also it can do the power on off remotely and still support the D2D. So what I just mentioned, it can be help you to do the switches, do the on or off by the environment. For example, the crowdedness of people, by like the brightness of level of the room. So it can do that directly. You do not have to do the further settings or to do the on and off by yourself. and the smart sockets, which is a very popular one. So those two, you can see one of them is in the wall socket, another one is the portable socket. And we are currently support the different types of the sockets. So if those types of sockets cannot be covering your like region's requirement, please let us know so we can figure it out to see if we have some extra possibility to provide a new one. For example, for the portable one, the wall socket, we're planning to make a new type in the next quarter. So maybe if you have your specific requirement, we can discuss it later to see if we have the plan to develop the type specifically for your region. Okay, please let us know. So besides talking about this, I just wanted to highlight. So for the sockets, it can be able to do the job as a socket, but also being able to collect your data and also to do some of the specific settings. And you can collect the data to manage your electricity very well. So those will be the products related to your existing like building systems. So you can use them to do just the kind of transformation instead of to switch all of those devices. Okay, any questions by now? All right. All right, so while you wanted to create a more user-friendly office, there will be something else you can be trying to use. For example, the smart field level monitoring sensor. Like I mentioned, it is another one we can manage the resource in the smart restroom. So you can use it to manage the tissue box. So while you detect the tissue box level is under the threshold you're setting, for example, 30% is left remaining level. So you can call or ask those cleaning staff to do the sending and to do the refilling stuff. And we also provide a one to detect the soap dispenser's fill level. So if you wanted to know further of the smart restroom solution, please let me know, okay? And the smart motion and TH sensor, that is someone we can combine using both the PIR to detect if there's somebody existing and also being able to detect their environment with the temperature and humidity level. So that will be something related to the settings to make your office a like better environment, as well as being able to do some further settings with some productivity improvement. The WX301 magnetic contact switch, actually this one, we're using it currently while we defined it. We think the magnetic contact switch will be able to do the security management, for example, for the window or door. But with many projects coming, we find that there are some else extra uses of it. For example, there will be some of the project use this magnetic contact switch and put it in the door of the bathrooms. So while they will know how many times someone's doing to open or close this bathroom, so they will know the kind of frequency of how many people have been into this bathroom, use those cubicles. So that will help those cleaning staff and those owners to be able to send the cleaning staff and to schedule their time there easily. So there will be another use while using the magnetic contact switch, but there are still many of that to use it for example, for the refrigerators and to see if there will be some abnormality happened to the temperature to impact the food quality or something, or to put it on a window. While you will see if the window is always on, that will be having waste of your electricity fee because the ventilation system should be higher. So while you combine this magnetic contact switch with helping you checking with the openness and close of the window, you will see there will be some abnormality happen or not. So we can help to adjust the HVAC system and to manage the electricity cost. The mini detector WS303, actually, it is a very small one. So this is for the spot leak detection. However, if you wanted to, for example, you wanted to check the leakage, to do the leakage detection with a space or larger space or specific space, for example, the ceiling, you might want to choose another one from Milesight, the membrane leakage detection, just to paste the membrane on the ceiling and you will see if there will be leakage happen. And we also have other shapes like for spot leak detection, like for the rope leakage detection, so we can check the area to check if there will be some leak happen in this area. So there will be some different shapes of the products. There is a question to say, do you have a solution to detect the leak detection in pipe at water company? So, so could you please let me know, like, what the size of the pipe there? Because, like I mentioned, we have different types of the leakage detection sensor. So, for some kind of the pipe, if there will be water leakage happens, we are offering, for example, you can use the kind of leakage detector to detect. But for the pipe specifically, we find it might be more appropriate to use a pipe pressure detection. We had one which is our EN500 pipe pressure detection sensor. That one will be able to just detect if the pressure level of the pipe had changed. So that will be helping you to find if that will be having some leakage. But the thing for that will be that you cannot find where does the leakage happens. So do you want to know the where does the leakage happen? For the kind of distribution pipe with the diameter more than 30 centimeters. So for that one, I think the combination with the pipe pressure and the specific leak detection sensor will be appropriate for the rope one. So you can use the rope to round the pipe and you will see if there will be something happens in the pipe. And also a pipe pressure helping you to quickly find if there will be some little abnormality happens, because even though there is a very, very small hole, even without the water out, so you will find the pipe pressure will be changing a lot. Okay, so for the question, we can talk about it later while I will be providing those products and the solution I recommended later in the follow-up email and send you. Okay, thanks for asking. All right, so let's come to the next product. So actually, maybe some of you might know that Milesight, we start our businesses with the cameras, with those products. So this what I wanted to, we find this is also another very big thing while you wanted to improve the overall efficiency in the building. So there might take people so many time if they wanted to find an empty parking space. So in that time, we find it's very important to have a indoor parking guidance camera. So the camera, you can see it's got dual lens by two sides. So each of the lens will be able to check and to manage three parking spaces. So in total, it can be able to cover like 6 parking spaces, 3 on each side. So this is the camera one, which has got AI deep learning algorithm inside. So it can be accurately support and detect the parking space occupancy with the accuracy of 99.9%. And also down here, this is the light place. So you can set your own light while use different color to show the spaces conditions there. Okay, and also for the picture right here, you can see it can be doing the connection with up to 6 devices together. So they will be able to manage their devices in total. So you do not have to use so many wires there. You just have to have someone and to combine them together with building your own parking guidance cameras. So that will be a very helpful one, was using the camera to detect the parking lot space. Okay, so if you have any questions related to those products, please let me know. And last part, I will be introducing and to do a conclusion of how does this topology works with the LoRaWAN or the others. And I will become to talk about your questions. Okay. All right, so just let me to finish this topology overview so we can get back to the success stories as well as your questions. First of all, the topology overview here is what I'm mentioning and illustrate in the beginning. So we said, well, you wanted to build a LoRaWAN or build an IoT solution, you might find there are different steps. And one of the most important things are those sensors. What sensors you are going to use, what kind of challenges you wanted to solve, and what kind of places you wanted to put those products on. So that will be big questions. So Milesight, we're offering many different series of products enabling doing the different dimensions or different conditions detection and control. So with all of those sensors, you're able to cover most of the usage in your building. And we can combine them with different sensors and to do some different logic. So that's very flexible because we're offering enough choices for you. So if you find there might be something we didn't mention, maybe I can provide you with the further information later after this webinar. As well, I can be able to give you some suggestions if you have some specific projects related to the IoT solutions. And after you collect all the data by the sensors, you might want to have a LoRaWAN gateway to collect those data in. And in Milesight's LoRaWAN gateway, we got an embedded network server inside. So you can use our own embedded network server to do the analysis. And also it's highly compatible with most frequently used or those well-known third-party network server. So you can use them as well. And also we are offering our platform for your choices. And also we are offering the Milesight development platform, the middleware platform to help you to use Milesight's devices in the third-party platform as well. Also use other devices in Milesight's platform. So that will be a place, the Milesight development platform will be a place to help you to find the openness of using all of those LoRaWAN devices together. So that will be what we want to bring in our solution. Okay, so let's see some of the questions here. Okay, so for the question says, we do not need to install many camera at parking, right? Yes, if you wanted to manage the parking lots, so like because there are many different parking spaces, you can use one of these indoor parking guidance to manage up to 6 parking spaces. Yes, I can be sharing with you some kind of the solutions later and through the follow-up email. Another question, did Milesight got smart power metering solution by LoRaWAN? So do you mean the power metering, do you mean that which can be able to connect to the circuit directly to check like the 3 things, the power consumption, the power factor and the voltage, something like that? You want that one? So actually, we are currently not have the LoRaWAN based smart powering meters right now. So what I guess what you're talking about is about like the power meters, which can directly to do the checking while you might want to combine it with your charging system or something. So what we are offering right now are something related to do the testing security reason. We are having the current transformer, but it cannot be replacing the power meters because that can only be able to provide with you the general power consumption just for some like testifying a testifying purpose, and also for checking the security of the electricity circuits or something like that. Okay, so maybe you can think you can let me know your like kind of requirement with the smart powering metering with LoRaWAN features. Okay. All right, so now it's time for us to have some of the real cases and to see how do our partners introduce mouse-sized devices and how do they use in their real applications. Let's see. So this is the first one from mouse-sized partner Cubon AB. So actually this is a very typical use of the noise level detector. So this one, they use the WS302, the sound level sensor, and the UG65 LoRaWAN gateway to build a LoRaWAN system while they applying in this case in the school. While what they wanted to do is to check different places noise level in the school, such as the canteen, corridors, and classrooms. So while they can collect all of this data and to use them in their platform. And finally, they can do some database decisions and to do some extra settings or do some constructions changes in their schools. So that will be able to help benefiting building a better environment in schools. Another one is from Milesight partner ACTE. This is also a case in school, and this is kind of similar one to what we just had talked about. Like this is the kind of things they are using the WTS, the weather station. This is for their checking with the external conditions of environment. While they will be able to connect with the indoor air quality as well as to do some extra settings while they wanted to do some like for example to let their students to be safer and feel more comfortable in the indoor and also to save the energy. So like I mentioned, they can be used AM series to check the air quality, to use WS301 to check the window status. So they will be able to know if the window is open or closed, will that be affecting the HVAC systems, electricity fee, or something like that. Okay, so this will be something related to the case. So currently we're having the WTA's 5086. So if you're interested in having the weather station, please let us know, okay? The school solution is also from our partner ACTE. So that is also about the school settings to do the savings while they wanted to manage the indoor air quality as well as the temperature and the humidity. And you can find with so many LoRaWAN sensors and devices available, it can be able to only use two LoRaWAN gateways here to build the connections, because each of the LoRaWAN gateways from Milesight can be able to support up to 2,000 end nodes connections. So that will be very stable connections while you just wanted to check with the space you wanted to deploy Milesight's LoRaWAN devices. Another very typical solution is from Mouse's partner Monolithic. Actually, this one is very interesting because, like I mentioned, they're using the smart SIM panel to do the ratings. So let's see those products they are using. They are using the WS156 in the restrooms in hospitals, and it can be used to rate the cleanliness and usability of items such as paper, hand sanitizers. So those patients or those some people who are in this hospital could be just to click on the button and to do the ratings of their service. So that will be able to help them to do the extra building. So, and also for the WS202, they will be able to do with the waiting room and restroom of the hospital's availability, air quality, and use the WS101, the red version, to do the call for nurse assistants. All right, another very typical and good success story is from our partner Quantec Automation. So this is the one which is in the shopping center. Like you can see in the shopping center, actually, sometimes we might find most of the shopping centers are facing the issue of the very old or like aging BMS system. So they wanted to do some transformation of the existing BMS system. So what they're using, let's see. Firstly, they're using the AM319, the indoor air quality sensor. This is the very professional one, which can be able to monitor up to 9 different parameters of the indoor air quality. And EM320TH, the temperature and humidity sensor, to be deployed in the inside walls of the shopping center to detect the overall temperature and humidity levels there. Because the EM320TH is capable of doing the integrated setting and it's very small, so it won't be there to bother the overall environment. So it can be able to just be in there and to detect and to collect the data while they can be able to further used in the indoor area. So in the shopping center, they can be used those different products there to improve the overall quality of and the overall comfortableness for people, for those customers as well. They will be able to lower the like general cost in total there. So that will be the combination of both the like the air comfort, the comfortness, as well as the productivity and efficiency there. Another one is a smart office use case. This is a very typical one, which has got many Milesight devices in. It's in a building while they have got many like light sensor, wall switch, light controller, wall switches, and those are actually for the transformation of their indoor offices settings. So they just use Milesight devices to use in their new place and then to find out that with those things. So that will be able to help them to find if that will be able to find the meeting room, that will be helping them to do the remote setting and to do the further control and the management. Okay. All right, so now I think I have already finished all of those success stories and will be giving you up to 5 to 10 minutes time to ask questions. We'll be staying here. And another thing I wanted to say is you can see there are many success stories from Milesight partners. If you are already a partner of Milesight and you wanted to come and provide with us some of the new and success use cases, please let us know, because currently we are receiving those real cases while we will be having the Impact Awards in September 15th. So before that, you can be submitting your real cases and let us know. And we will have different prizes for those of you who are submitting the successful real cases. Okay, just let you know that. Thanks for all of you to coming here today. Thank you. Bye-bye.